Thanks to Hollywood, when we think about spies, attention almost immediately turns to James Bond, Jason Bourne, the excellent Homeland series, or any one of 1,000 other characterizations. But in light of what international espionage has become in the modern world, time has come to reveal just how intriguing and dangerous a life it really is. Tongue-in-cheek. The book is called How to Catch a Russian Spy, the true story of an American civilian turned double agent, a sometimes harrowing real-life tale based on the exploits of Naveed Jamali, who co-authored the spy tome with Newsday columnist and veteran political analyst Ellis, Henican, and they both join us. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here, and I have to begin, Naveed, by just pointing out right away, I need to make the point, you do not own a Walther PPK, nor do you have a license to kill. Is that correct?
Evening, Ed. That's correct. I do not, for either question, no.
When I read about this book, it seems like there's almost an element of humor that goes on through this, with a lot of times the way you had to deal with these agents. And this all started at your father's store, correct? When somebody just approached you, and that's when the FBI got involved. When you were, what, 12 years old?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, no, my parents ran a small defense contracting company, actually here in New York City on Columbus Circle, and one day the Soviets just walked in and asked to buy some books. And therein started a 20-year crazy relationship with the Soviets and the Russians and the FBI and my family.
Ellis, I have to believe that while you're researching the book and you're talking to Naveed and his family as well, that you had to start laughing at this, because immediately some of it seems like this is almost the gang that couldn't shoot straight.
Well, you're right. The Russians don't all come off as smooth operators here. Oleg, who is the center of this thing, the handler who handled Naveed, is kind of part bumbling, part dedicated servant. And the whole time he's breaking the law because, you know, he's in New York and America as a diplomat. He's not supposed to be spying on us, but boy, they sure did keep spying.
So, Naveed, let's then talk about your relationship with the Russians, because this went on for some time. This wasn't just a short span of time here. Did you actually, I guess, feel like a spy? Did the American government treat you like a spy? And when you were dealing with these Russians, did you sometimes just go, my God, I can't believe how bumbling these people are?
Well, absolutely. There was a moment when the Russians would come to my office and they would literally open up their jacket, take out a garbage bag, and start taking free samples of books. And I'm sitting here thinking, these people have nuclear weapons? So yes, it happened all the time.
What was, and there's so many stories I know that we have to tell, and we've only got a short amount of time and the book is here. But Naveed, what's the one story that you can give us a quick idea of just what it was like to work as a spy and know that you were spying for your country? You were a double agent.
Yeah, no, it was, you know, I had 3 lives. I had 3 silos that were totally separate, or so I thought. I was, you know, a recently married man to, running a company and building a career, and oh, by the way, I was a double agent. And as things progressed, it became harder and harder to keep those 3 silos separate. And I think one of the funniest, you know, I can say it now, funniest moments, but I was driving and I was supposed to go to a wedding, and the FBI called me and said, you have to show up at this parking lot to meet with us. And unbeknownst to me, the wedding had moved. And so as I'm driving to meet with the FBI, I drive by the church where the wedding is, and they all see me driving by and not stopping, and they're wondering, where are you going? So for years, almost a decade, I had all these people who had no idea what I was doing, and it totally interfered with my life. And, you know, it became a very difficult thing to try to keep these 3 separate lives, well, separate.
Ellis, I mentioned that we always think of spies, the ones that Hollywood teaches us. Was any of this, when you were starting to talk to Naveed and writing the book, did any of it bear any semblance whatsoever to what we're told are the Hollywood versions of spies?
Well, yeah, I mean, there were parts of it that was, you know, sneaking around in these surreptitious meetings. I mean, some of that was like we would expect from the movies. But I got to tell you, Ed, what I think is so fascinating about it was really how normal it all seemed, right? I mean, the Russians were paying money. The Cold War was supposedly over. They were our partners and our friends. And yet all the same skullduggery from the Cold War really was going on right under our noses, and in some very just normal restaurants and diners, and just the kind of places any of us could be on any day.
Makes us think that not every spy, by the time the day is over, really is involved in 17 forms of martial arts and also has something in their shoe. I mean, it really is just that normal, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think Naveed could do any karate chops, but I will tell you this, though. He was a naive young guy who had no training, and yet he really did outsmart this veteran Russian espionage agent. I mean, there's a little bit of heroism here in the whole story, too, that I think is important to convey.
I think it is, and there's Naveed going, oh, shucks, I'm not really a hero here. Come on, Ellis.
No, I got... I got to go home every night to my bed. It's hard to equate that.
So, Naveed, I only got about 30 seconds left, but this has got to be asked. The movie rights have been optioned out to 20th Century Fox. Who plays you in the movie?
Oh, I wish I knew. Look, obviously I'm excited that it's potentially going to be a movie. Mark Webb is this fabulous director, and he's set to direct it. And Mark Heyman, who's brought us The Wrestler and Black Swan, is set to be the screenwriter. So, hey, I'm thrilled to see what they can make with this adaptation.
God, I hope they don't put Mickey Rourke in there, knowing that the one guy did The Wrestler. 10 seconds, Ellis. Any idea who'd be good to play him in the movie?
Here's the reality. When Hollywood grabs your story, they will put whoever they want in there.
Let it sell
I don't think
tickets.
they even care what we think about that one, honestly.
How to Catch a Russian Spy, the true story of an American civilian turned double agent. Naveed Jamali and Ellis Henican, thanks so much for joining us. The Hardline continues.